There's been a lot of confusion in the scientific literature on what we call the neural correlates of the separate mind or the neural correlates of experience and equating them with consciousness. So, what we see in the brain as neurochemistry and the neural landscape, these are the neural correlates of experience in the separate or ego mind. The infinite mind differentiates into, as we've said, many modes of knowing and into almost infinite knowers, infinite modes of knowing, and infinite entities known. And this includes every single conscious being or sentient being. And I include everybody here, everything here, including plants and animals and even microbes, because they all have some degree of sentience. Plants, animals, microbes, primates, humans, all of that. So what we're looking at neural correlates are the separate identity that consciousness assumes by attaching itself to a particular mode of experience, and then we measure the neural correlates, and then we try to explain consciousness with that, which we can't, because it's trying to explain electricity by looking at a light bulb rather than, using electricity as the fundamental reality and then looking at the light bulb, then looking at your TV set, then looking at your microwave oven, then looking at your television set. They are separate entities from the electrical field, electromagnetic field. And that electromagnetic field, in turn, is an expression of the quantum field. So when I talk about the quantum body, I'm not talking about the body that feels separate. I'm not talking about the karmic or conceptual body, which is basically the body of the separate mind. Okay. There is no hard problem of consciousness. Consciousness is fundamental and it differentiates into different modes of knowing. One of the modes of knowing is what we call physical reality, whether it's physical reality of an object or the physical reality of a person. But that physical reality is an appearance, a differentiated appearance of the infinite, filtering through what Aldous Huxley called the reducing valve of consciousness into the appearance of separation. So no hard problem. What the West scientific literature calls consciousness is conscious experience, even unconscious experience, but it's experience. It's not the source of experience. Consciousness is the source of all experience in all sentient beings, and the mind is not consciousness. Okay. In fact, the mind is mostly not conscious anyway. It's like a biological robot conditioned by culture, by religion, by science, and even sometimes by philosophy. The conditioned mind, which is in fact ultimately a controlled hallucination, creates the experience of space-time and causality, this theater of space-time and causality in which the separate mind is embedded. And the only way to understand consciousness is through self-awareness, not an ego awareness, although when we observe the ego, observe the body, observe perceptions, and then trace them back to their source, we become the infinite awareness in which the separate mind is an arising and a subsiding. Okay. The separate mind, which is the fearful mind, the mind that anticipates, the mind that regrets, the mind that fears, the mind that is constantly seeking satisfaction from external rewards and is never satisfied because it has never experienced or until it experiences wholeness. So, once again, what we call everyday reality is a controlled hallucination of the separate mind, which itself is a socially induced hallucination, at least in human beings, but necessary for experience. Otherwise, there would be no experience. So, when we transcend experience through reflection, introspection, awareness, mindfulness, and trace the source of experience to its origin, then we realize we are the infinite awareness in every perceptual activity and in every experience. And that is called liberation from all suffering. So I hope this is clear, the distinction between consciousness and the mind. The mind is not consciousness. It's a modified form of consciousness. And that mind has a body, which is also a modified form of consciousness, which experiences the world, which is also a modified form of consciousness. So we come back to the source. You and the world and the universe are awareness. Let me know what you think.